YouTube, Electric Adventures here. I thought I'd try a new type of video. It's goes along with my general interests and what I've been up to lately. I've been obviously releasing new games myself for old systems, Coleco, MSX and Spectravideo, but it's not all about me. There are just so many great developers out there trying the hardest and getting enthusiastic about releasing new games for all of the old 8 and 16-bit systems that we love, and some 32 as well. So I thought I'd start this new series where we're going to look at, and we'll call it the Retro Development Community News. Try and do one each month and just cover the games that people are working on, the games that have been released. Because one of the things that I find myself as a person who likes to get homebrew games is missing out on the Kickstarters, and because a lot of people use Kickstarter, but also just the pre-orders, and it'd be good to have a general update each month or a go over these sort of things. So because I'm doing the research and finding these things myself anyway, so I thought I might as well tell you guys about it. There are May, so this is for May 2024. May has been a very busy month for things, so the ones I mention in this particular episode are probably only the tip of the iceberg. So please, fellow retro devs out there, if you have any projects that you're working on, progressing, or are most especially releasing soon, drop a comment down below or contact me and I'll happily feature it in the next month's video. Alright, so I'm going to have a general news section. So the first general news is we sadly say goodbye to the Z80. The original Z80 has still been manufactured via Zilog all this time, but they're finally no longer making the 28-pin variants of it. So the original Z80. Now there are some compatible chips and things like that, but the original one they are stopping production of. Now there is stock available of the chip around, but obviously it won't last forever. But it's just one of those sad days when a beloved chip used in so many systems is no longer going to be made. Already there are enterprising people. As I was researching for other topics, I saw this post by a gentleman called Dragon Ball EZ, and it looks like he's working on using an SMD version of one of the Z80 chips. He's made a PCB that will make it a drop-in replacement for the Z80. I'll be following that project a little more. Obviously he's only in the prototype stage, but I thought I'd mention that as one of our news items. I thought it was very good. Now, moving right along, so competitions. So one of the competitions that it did start late April, but I'll cover it in our May update, is MSX Dev. Obviously MSX is one of the systems that I'm very fond of, and the MSX Dev community has been competitions have been running for quite a considerable amount of time. So MSX Dev 2024 has started, and you've got until later in the year to put your entries in. I'll put a note down below. And already there are some actually quite amazing and generous prizes for those who choose to enter. So there is a Carnivore 2 Plus cartridge. That's a digital compact flash card solution to allow you to load games on your MSX computer, and the Carnivore is one of the more popular ones. So they're made of 2 Plus. That's kindly donated by RBSC. Also in the same thing, another flash card for the MSX is an MSX Pico, donated by Jerome Taverny. Please, I apologise for mashing anybody's name. And one of the biggest prizes is an SX/2 MSX FPGA console. So it is basically an MSX, I think it does 2 and 2 Plus, I might even do Turbo R, but it's a full FPGA implementation MSX console, which is very, very cool and very generous indeed. We have Pixel Memories will supply one of their displays. So they do little really nice 3D pixel art displays on games. I'll show one up there of one they've done recently, and they're going to make one in honour of the winner. Also very cool. Also, some lucky person will get a copy of Phoenix Corruptor on cartridge, which is an MSX2 title by Caspar Crows. So competition's only been going a month and you've got all those lovely prizes so far. And we also have 3 entries already. So we have Princess Paloma's Rescue, which is an MSX2 game, which looks very interesting indeed. I haven't had a chance to play it properly yet, but so by the way, all the games in the MSX Dev, as they're released and announced, you can download them and play them. The authors are allowed to download updated versions as they find bugs up until the close of the competition, and then they won't be available for physical purchase in any form during the competition, but afterwards they may, with people's support. The next title is for MSX1, and it's called Alien MSX, so unofficial, as they say, so no licensing. That looks pretty cool. I'm a very big fan of the Alien franchise, and there are quite a few good Alien games around, but the MSX, was a little bit lacking in some of them, so it's very nice somebody's had a go at doing that. And the third game is called Puzzle Mania. This one's obviously a little risque. It's a slide puzzle game for MSX2, which means the graphics are pretty good, of scantily clad ladies, and you have to slide the puzzle to get the final solution out. So there are 3 entries so far. Very good things to start things off. Remember last year, and the entries will slowly filter in over the year as people develop them. It depends where people are with their projects. But last year there were over 20, almost 30 entries. So it really, the MSX development community is most certainly alive. Also, if you can't wait, if you're not going to enter the competition and you can't wait to get your own copy, to potentially win the Phoenix Corruptor game, that is available at Kote Gamers if you'd like to order your copy. I've got my copy on order. Alright, so the next is games that are actually up for release, either a Kickstarter or pre-order, that I have found. So please, anybody who knows something that I have missed, put it down, we'll add it to the comments, and let me know if you've got something coming next month, and I'll add it to that video. Because obviously this is all just based on my research. I've only got a limited amount of time to find things. Right, so our first one is called The Trial of Carzoid, and it's an Arkanoidvania game. So a mix of Arkanoid, which is your bat and ball and collecting things, with a Castlevania type theme, but they've got interludes and stuff like this. And this is all for the humbled NES. And it looks very colourful and very well done. So I'd highly recommend you go check that one out. And next one is, we'll jump right up to slightly more modern things, is Project Neon for the Neo Geo AS MVS. Now the game, they've started demo around the places, but the pre-orders are still open. Now not for the light-hearted, you're talking $550 for a normal version, but they're going to produce that on physical AS or MVS cartridge. I would really like to support that one, but I don't have the money at the moment. May be able to get one later, you never know, but if I don't tell you about it and you go and have a look, you may miss out on the copies that are available. Because the trouble with homebrew publishing, you do have to limit yourself to the boxes and materials that you get, and it's very hard to get more later. Now another one that's been developed for a little while, but it is available both as a digital download, but also you can buy a physical copy, is called Sam's Journey for the NES. It's a really nice looking game. A lot of work has gone into the story. So it's a scrolling platformer type of game. A lot of really nice art and really nice use of the NES hardware. Go check that one out. I've got a self-plug in here. Of course, you could also get my own game, which is EA 70s Arcade Classics. So there is a version for the Coleco, the MSX, and most proud, the original Spectravideo. And I'd like to point out that this is the very first cartridge for the original Spectravideo machines which were the precursors to the MSX and where the design came from for 40 years. So in each one of them, they're different cartridge shape for things, but otherwise they are the same. You get 3 games, 3 70s arcade games. You get Lunar Rescue, which is the main game. Really good, fun game where you need to drop down through the asteroids, land on a selected platform, and then fight your way back up Space Invader style to dock with the mothership. And you rescue the 6 astronauts, then you get a bonus, and then you go on and it gets harder. The second game is another 70s classic. It's called Depth Charge. You're the battleship at the top, and you have to try and drop your depth charges and get rid of the subs down below. The lower ones get you more points while they're shooting missiles at you. And it's a time attack game. You only get a certain amount of time if you manage to get over 500 points. As soon as you do that, it enables overtime mode, so you get some extra time. And the third bonus game is Stunt Cycle. Now, Stunt Cycle was a black and white, had a throttle controller, so this is my interpretation of that, a bit more colour and everything like that, and it was a good challenge for me of getting the sound going. I wouldn't say it's perfect compared to some of the other 2 games, but a good little bonus game gives you a nice collection of titles from the 70s. So I've managed to get really nice quality printed boxes for all 3. Oops, try not to mangle my own copy here. Now each comes on a physical cartridge. So this is the Spectravideo cartridge, very small, about the same. They are literally the same size as an Atari 8-bit cartridge, just has some slight differences down the bottom. So this will even work on a Spectravideo 318, which only has 16K of RAM, or a Spectravideo 328. So work on both models, and yeah, very proud of doing that. You get a printed manual and a certificate of authenticity, which gives you the number of your cartridge for each of the systems. So, available to order on my website down below. So, self-plug over, let's move on to some more releases. Now, another one I noticed is called Shift, which is actually a version of a PC game, but this one's for the Commodore 64 and Atari 8-bit. So, it's a puzzle game, but it's done in black and white, which gives it a particular look, and I thought it was quite interesting. So that's another one where you can it's sort of like a pay what you want donation download. I don't believe there's a physical version of that one. Another one I noticed for the Commodore 64 was called Tony Montezuma's Gold. It's actually another one that's in black and white, and is a bit of like a Montezuma platformer type game. That one looks very, very cool, and is also available as a download and a pay what you want sort of one. And going over, so we cover something on the Spectrum side. So the title's been brought out for the Spectrum 128 and Spectrum Next, called Aliens Neoplasma. Yes, I am an Aliens fan, so it's probably why I spotted this one, or it came up in my feed. But that looks very cool. I do have a Spectrum Next, so I'll actually be interested in getting a copy of that myself. So I'll have links for all of those down below. Now next we moved on to in development. Now once again there's probably hundreds of titles in development in various places. I'll try and cover different ones each month, unless it's one of the ones we've covered and we've had a major update about dates and things like that. So the first one, and once again trying to cover as many systems as possible, so I've got a bit of representation. So I've seen one called Cronella's Mansion for the Game Boy Color. That looks very interesting. Bit of a point and click adventure, and I believe they're bringing it out for other consoles as well. But at the moment, the main target I've seen is the Game Boy Color. An interesting one. A gentleman is opening. I Love Pizza is his handle. But they're looking at making a one-on-one fighting game called Go For It. Looks to be in very early stages, but there is some gameplay available and everything like that. I know there's a lot of one-on-one fighting game fans out there. A really cool-looking title, which is a scrolling beat-em-up, is called Triple Impact for the Super Nintendo. The graphics for this one look very good indeed. So side-scrolling beat-em-up. I'll be following that one closely. Now, switching systems again. Looks like a lot of work has gone into this one. This is called Mighty Castle Adventure for the Amstrad CPC. The Amstrad is another machine that suffered from lazy Spectrum ports a lot during its release, and the machine is capable of displaying a lot more colour and some quite decent gameplay. So it's good to see somebody creating new homebrew games for that one. Now back to another couple of NES titles. Malice Sombra. Now this game's been in development for 3 or 4 years, but it has recently surfaced again because there's been demos of it. So it's a team of 4 guys called 4 Megahertz from Spain who have been working on this, and they have demoed the game a little bit more. So it's an action-adventure type title, so go check it out and keep an eye on that one. Another NES game that is up to reasonably running standards now and is looking very good, especially myself as a fan of shoot-'em-up type games. It's a vertical scrolling shoot-'em-up called Hyperion for the NES. It's looking very nice indeed. Obviously still very early stages, just getting the mechanics going, but even those mechanics and graphics are looking very good. So we've covered quite a few titles there. There are probably heaps that I've missed in May, but let's keep the conversation going. I may add a blog section to my website that covers this one as well. I'll edit the video episode with stuff down below once I've had a chance to do this, but I thought I'd get this episode out and get things started. And that way I'll get into the rhythm of keeping out for new release games. But please let me know if I've missed anything, and we can cover them in next month's video. Alright, I hope you've enjoyed this first episode in a new series. I'm Electric Adventures. Thanks to all my subscribers. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.